All right, so now we are going to move into geometric sequences. And that's going to be one where you get the next term by multiplying by a fixed number. That number is called a ratio and is denoted by R. So you're multiplying by some fixed number, and we can also do division. You just multiply by the fraction. If I ever want to figure out what that R is, it's a ratio. So I can take any one term and divide by the one previously. And that's how I can get my R. And then you do always want to check 5 times 2, 10 times 2. Okay, that sounds good. So in that case, our R is 2. So if we were to rate that out a little bit, we start with this 5. That's going to be our P of O, or initial value. And then we do 5 times 2, which is 10. So P of 1 is 10. Then we do P of 1 times 2, so 10 times 2, which is 20, on and on and on. So then P of 6 would be P of 5 times 2. So P of 6 would be 160 times 2, which is 320. So to determine if something is geometric or not, it's got to have that common ratio. So I should be able to divide any term by the previous and get the same one if it's geometric. So I'm going to take my 3125 and divide by 625. That gives me a 5. But that should hold for all of them. 125 divided by 25, 5 divided by 1. Okay, so it definitely is geometric with a 5. So this was P of 0. Remember, we always start with 0. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So to get the next one, P of 7 would be P of 6 times 5. We don't have P of 6 yet. We have P of 0. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So to get P of 6, P of 6 is P of 5 times 5. So we would take our 3125 and multiply it by 5. And then this number gets big fast. Multiply that one by 5 to get our answer. Ta-da! And then you have a couple more examples here as well that you would want to try. So if the sequence is geometric, you should be able to find R. 32 divided by 8 is 4. And it should hold for all of them. 4 divided by 2 is 2. 256 divided by 32 is 4, but that's also 2. Nope, not geometric. You need to have a steady R. So we can't find that 8th term. All right, then we can now go, well, let's find the first 6 terms. So 2048, and then I would multiply it by 0.5. So 2048 times 0.5. That's also the same thing as dividing by 2. And then I do it again. And again. Until I get 6. 1, 2, 3, 4. 5, 6. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 64 would be my answer. Okay. And how that all comes together now is with this idea of exponential growth. So with exponential growth, come back to that original one, 5, 10, 20, 40, 80, 160. And our R was 2. So here was my PO, it was 5. P of 1 was 5 times 2. That's multiplying 5 once, the 2. P of 2 was 10 times 2, which is 20, which was PO times 2 times 2. And then we did it 3 times, 4 times, 5 times. So this 160 was the initial value, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, times 2 to the 5th power for that P of 5. So that's your explicit formula. whereas doing the one before is your recursive formula. So if we keep going with that pattern, P of 6 then would be 2 to the 6th. So P of 6 would be that initial 5 times 2 to the 6th, which is 320. That's 5 times 2 caret 6 on the calculator. Then if we wanted to, so with recursive, take the 160 times 2. With explicit, take the 2 to the 6th power. So that brings us to our two exponential growth equations. One is recursive and one is explicit. So P of n minus 1 is the previous term. That's saying P of 5 is P of 4 times R. And then this one is saying P of n at any point is P of O, the initial value, and then R to that n power that you're looking for. So those are two that you definitely want to look at. You definitely want to remember. If you're working with percentages, then that R value is going to be 1 plus or minus that percent as a decimal. So keep that in mind. So if R is 10% growth, then it's going to be 1 plus 10%. Because if you do 10% without the 1, 100 times 10% is 10. You're not growing. So you have to do that plus 100, which gives you the 1.1 times 100 to grow. So just make sure to note that. Okay, so down here, I want to use the explicit formula to find the 16th term, or P to the 15, the explicit formula. So hold on, that's P of n equals P of O times R to the n. I want P of 15, P of O times R to the 15. Now R we already said is 2. So it's going to be P to the 15 equals 5 times 2 to the 15. 5 times 2 caret 15 gives us 163,840. It's growing very quickly. Okay. So make sure you don't have any questions on that. Okay, and then the last bit for this is if we want to work on using the calculator a little more, you can try a couple of these. So in terms of the calculator, make sure that you're using one that has an exponent button. And then when you want to type things in, like 1.05 to the 10th, it's 1.05 caret 10. Okay, so check that your calculator is working. And if you need to practice, there's some practice problems here, which I will post the key for. And then there's additional practice problems following that you'll want to work through that I will post the key for. So have a great day.